Hey guys, welcome to the video. So this week is part 3 of my writing journey and it is focusing just on my writing journey with Atlanta. So basically, if you haven't seen certain other videos that I did last year, basically I'm gonna insert like a little card at the top that you can press for certain parts, so that will make a bit more sense because those have more backstory as to like certain days of what happened. I'm just putting in certain clips and explaining certain things and not going as in depth as I have in those videos. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And yes, the first ride on Atlanta, when I was delusional and thought she was such an angel, and also didn't know what leads were. So yeah, that's great. Basically, this was my first time riding Atlanta, and she was a big horse. I was used to riding the ponies, and she actually jumped over the jumps. I thought she was like the best thing ever. Like lazy, but I thought she was like amazing. Like best jumper horse ever. Yeah, and let's just say I had no clue really what I was doing. Yeah, let's just can we just take a moment to just cringe, honestly. And yeah, this is sad, but we can look at how far I've come from it and go from there. And we have my first time cross country. We can't really see what's going on there because it was too zoomed up, but in the next clip you will get to see what's going on. Basically, this was my first time on Atlanta trying cross country, and I thought it was the best thing ever. It was so much fun. I still love cross country, honestly. And Atlanta isn't lazy really at all when it comes to cross country, so it's a different feeling that I wasn't used to. And my first refusal on the pony. Atlanta wasn't one to refuse, but she didn't really see the other side of it. And there she jumped it. She jumped it just fine. And I didn't know at this point that you were supposed to jump the jumps a certain way versus both sides. So that being said, I tried jumping it the other way, which turned out fine, but I would not recommend. And here was my first time jumping 3'3" on Atlanta. And can we just take a moment, if you were to rewind the video and see how she launched over that the first time? It was kind of hilarious. I got thrown forward. Don't know why I was jumping the combination backwards, honestly. I still look at that and wonder, but she was such a good girl, and after that point is when I started leasing her. So I started leasing Atlanta, and I thought I was on top of the world until this day. So we were doing circles, which was all fine and no problems. However, let's fast forward a bit. Right up to this moment. So let's just pause for a sec. This was a fundamental spot in my writing where I lost probably a good 90% of my confidence, so let's keep that in mind for the rest of the video. So keeping going, we go over the jump. She's on the wrong lead. She's trying to fix it. I didn't know about leads. Then she gets spooked because Leviosa gets spooked, and she throws me there. I get back on. Let's just say I kind of slid there, so that did not feel nice. But we went over the jumps. I thought I was completely fine. I wasn't scared at all. I was brave. I thought everything was completely fine. And we came around, went over this jump. It wasn't extremely pretty, but I was just we went over it, which was the main thing. However, after that point, I started to be terrified to canter jumps. I would only trot jumps. So, cantering into a jump was like a huge thing for me. Like, this was tiny, and cantering up to it took so much, like, convincing myself that it was going to be okay. Because at that point, I didn't know how to set up striding either. So, like, but still with, like, the higher, like, jumps, I still had to trot into them because I wasn't confident enough to canter them. It just wasn't a thing for me. So, that being said, you can see that in these clips how I had to trot up to these. Again, I set up that combination and I had no clue how to set up striding. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that Atlanta put up with that? And then when taking her to new jumps, I had to walk her up to it, let her sniff it, make her be like, it's okay, see, it's not scary, you're fine. And then we couldn't canter to it ever, but we could trot up to it and do it. But yeah, I just didn't have the confidence to canter jumps really, unless they were very small. Like anything that big was way too big for me to canter. But like I was slowly building up my confidence with like smaller jumps on this side, where like I'd trot the first one and then we'd canter to the next small one. And that was a big thing for me because she'd get a little excited after them too, which was a little scary. And this was another day that like we had a bit of like, it was a good day because of one thing, and then it was a interesting day because of another thing. So she went over this jump here. Like again, we have to trot to them because it's too scary to canter to jumps. Except for small ones, like if they're like this big, then we can canter it. But not even going up to the cross rail at first could we canter it. Now, this next thing is just a coincidence. I couldn't slow her down. Like, I was trying to slow her down, and somehow we managed to set up the striding to have it be really nice like that. But that was a fluke. I had no clue how to do that for any other jumps. But I was so proud of myself here. I thought that I knew how to set up striding after that. But no, it was just kind of a fluke. Like, we'd have like little combinations like that we could canter, but then we'd have hiccups like this, and this was why we trotted jumps, where I got left behind. She got kind of spooked by me flopping down on her back, and then she got freaked out by a truck, and so she started cantering again around there, and then we cut off the tape, but we took her around again. And I was gonna take her over it again just to sort of be like, it's okay, it's not scary. And then I chickened out at the last second there. And then we came around and we kept coming around. And I'm like, oh, I'll go over the cross rail. Like the cross rails, that will be less scary. So we came around. Like, I was more chicken than she was, honestly. Like, I was preventing her a lot from doing things, which wasn't good. So she like hardly even went over that. And so we came around and we went over this one. And since she was fine with that, I'm like, oh, I can do the other one now. So we came around this way. And then we tried it from this way going over it. Now we're gonna try it this way going over it. And so when she was fine going over it this way, and I thought, oh, I'm good, I can stop. But then I'm thinking, well, it was the other way that she had a problem, not this way. Like, she never had a problem with this way. So then I stopped being a bit of a chicken, and I took her around this way, this other way, I should say. And she was completely fine. So I was happy with that. And then we'd have dumb moments like that again, and like this. And this was my second last ride, I think. But it was a really windy day. There was trucks going by, and she'd spook sometimes, but not the others. So that's what kind of freaked me out. But basically, after a few rides like that and quite a few other things, which I will put the video on a card up here so you can go watch why I stopped leasing Atlanta. I stopped leasing her and I went on to leasing Little One, but that's for the next video. And that is it for this week. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on those post notifications so you get notified when I post new videos and you get to see part 4 and other videos that I do. So yeah, if you liked today's video, make sure to do that, and yeah, don't forget to go out there and love your ponies. Bye!